Everyone, welcome back. It's Melanie, your She Shed Scrapper. So first of all, I want to say Merry Christmas to you all. I hope you are having a wonderful day or will have a wonderful day. I am back with a Christmassy layout using the Make It Merry collection from Simple Stories. It is a little bit of an older collection, but a really great one in my opinion. I am using a black background today, which I don't normally do, but I kind of had this idea that I wanted to stitch a little bit, and I figured white on this black would look so good. So I am adding 4 photos from a trip to Disney Springs a few Decembers ago at this point, 2, I believe. And I am going to kind of make them into a grid. And matte just the bottom 2, I believe, because the top 2 are just going to be all black, and I thought they looked okay just on the black. And I didn't want the photos to be too much bigger than they already are, because the 4 photos kind of do take up the majority of the layout, and obviously I wanted room to be able to stitch and do all of that. So I did double matte them on separate colors or different colors, one red, one green, and again, these ones are going to go on the bottom, kind of over top of that pattern paper, that plaid paper there. I did decide to use that same color green. I had a scrap piece here, and do a scallop border. Once it's all said and done, I really did not need this. You barely see the scallops because it's going to be underneath of my photos. But again, just trying to add something different, something that I don't always tend to do. And so I am going to end up adding that to the, I don't know, kind of as a barrier between the pattern paper and the black cardstock. You can see I struggled with this one. I don't even know why. I know how to use border punches now, which I know sounds silly that I didn't know how to, but you know, user error for several years. So now that that is down, I am going to kind of figure out how to place them. You can see that it's not a complete grid by any means. I have some kind of coming out each ends. That did not sound good, sorry. But it's not a rectangle. So I kind of made this, I don't want to call it a stencil, but guide of Mickey Mouse off of a kind of half a Mickey face on the 6x8 paper pad. That was that black piece, but I had cut out of it on the other side, and so it wasn't a full piece. So I kind of had to make my own. And in doing so, I was like, well, perfect. Now I can use this for future layouts too. And you can see it's only half, but I just flipped it over and then I traced the other half to make a full Mickey head. And that is going to be where I stitch. So, it is going to kind of just be the one ear up to the top left, and that is how I'm going to fill in the space up there. I did kind of trace around the entire head, thinking maybe I would add the ears to the top right. Obviously, they are going to be hanging off the page, but when I got to the point where I wanted to stitch, I just thought it would look out of place. And so I don't end up stitching that second ear or anything that I traced when I flipped Mickey over, if that makes sense. I did wait to take the pictures until the stitching was done because otherwise I just think it would be missing a lot. So I don't show my stitching on camera. I've been doing that kind of inside at night when I'm like watching TV. But on this one, I did want to show the stitching in the pictures because it is a main part of the embellishments in the top left. So the December Joy did not actually come from this collection. It came from like a year in review Simple Stories collection. I have had it for years. I got it from Tuesday Morning, but I love that title December Joy. And the colors matched really nicely. So I figured it was the perfect size to fit in Mickey's ear. But then I had a place kind of underneath of the title there that I didn't know how to embellish, I guess. So you just saw I added in pencil lines. I will do my journaling underneath there in white pen. I have a white pen, so I figured that would be the perfect spot to add journaling. So that is how I plan on filling in that space. I have yet to journal, so in the photos you will probably be able to see that pencil mark, but just know the journaling will come. For this embellishment cluster, it was a little bit tricky. I didn't have a lot of space, and so I found a circular kind of tuck behind piece that said magical or magic, and so I did end up adding that. And then I added, I think it was supposed to be for journaling, but I'm using it as a layering piece, and it was a rectangle, and I figured it would look good down the side and just kind of elongate that. So I used that, and then I'm just kind of adding some holly around there. I did want to add something else, another cluster, and so I am using a larger poinsettia and kind of covering up, I can't remember what I'm covering up down there, but something that just needed covering, maybe my bags. I'm not 100% sure, but that is kind of why I'm layering that piece on that bottom photo so much. And then there was a flag that said joy, and I just liked that, and so I added that, added a present, just made a cluster down at the bottom left, and then kind of the middle right, added a bird there to kind of fill in that space. I really covered up a lot of that journaling piece, so really it wasn't necessary, but when I started that cluster in my head, it felt necessary. And then to finish off these clusters, I am using these chipboard pieces. I believe they are Kingston Crafts. These are what my friend Jenny from Scrappy Jenny K gifted me at She Loves Colors. She won them, and I think there were multiple sheets of each color, but there's so many colors of them that match perfectly with the Make It Merry collection. So I am just adding little stars to each of the clusters. I will say I do end up changing one of the stars at the top left because one of them fell off, and by the time I got back to the she shed, it was just laziness, but I didn't have all of those colors out. I had an off-white, and so I added an off-white star to the top title piece there. But once I add these stars, that is going to finish it off. I believe maybe there are some pieces left of this collection at one of the stores. I can't remember which one, but not very many. So definitely check it out if you are interested and get your hands on it before it sells out. But yeah, definitely check out the stitching here in this photo. There you go. And then I will journal on those pencil lines. But that is going to finish off this layout. Again, I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday season, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.